Hoi. Chris.
Hey, man. Yeah.
What's up, man?
Nothing much, yeah.
So for those that don't know you, you are Chris Courtnell. And what's the company you work for?
It's called Certwood Limited. We have the US side of it is Certwood USA.
Okay.
So, yeah, man.
And kind of a cool thing, I'm going to jump into this tennis shoe conversation we were having earlier. Because first of all, I decided it was weird that I say tennis shoe because I don't play tennis at all. Because you asked me, you said, is it sneakers or...
And like, where does the name sneakers come from? Like, because it's like you're not sneaking around.
That's exactly what I was just gonna say. Like, yeah, where does
especially with a lot of them, like, do you ever get those like the trainers like that have like their squeaky, like walking around like,
yeah,
it's like not very sneaky.
Do you think that's where it came from though? Because we're like did all shoes used to be dress shoes, and they were like they would clack around.
Know.
You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, maybe. Yeah, we might have to look that up, you know?
Yeah.
But
I wish Jacob was here.
Yeah. But, so tennis shoes is weird. Sneakers is weird. Do you know what we call them back in England?
What do you call them in England?
Trainers.
Hold on, wait. You're from England?
Yeah.
In case you couldn't tell by the accent, he's from Tennessee. No.
Yeah. No, I actually do. So one of my dad jokes is whenever anybody asks me where I'm at, if I'm feeling like I'm in like a dumb stupid mood, I'll say, "Oh, yeah, I'm from Pittsburgh." And I'll just like sit there and watch their reaction on their face, and it's like you'll see that look of confusion. They're like, you don't sound like you're from Pittsburgh.
You'd be like, yeah, but where were you born? You're just like, Pittsburgh.
No, the funny thing is like you get some people like, and they'll just like they'll actually go with it. Like they'll actually go, oh really? And it's like, really? I'm like, in my head, I'm like thinking, you're not going to question that,
right? You're not going to call me all my bullshit right now.
Yeah.
But so what do you call them in England?
Trainers.
Yeah.
So
I feel like I'm hearing that more and more in this area now.
Yeah, I don't know where that name comes from either, and it doesn't really make sense because most people who wear them aren't training for anything anyway. So.
Right, but I suppose that is maybe like most of them, their design usage. You know what I mean? I mean, what else could they really? Soft and cushy, I guess.
Like, so yeah, we were talking about like earlier, like about like getting like decent pair of like running shoes.
Yeah.
So one of the things I do is like for my everyday like trainers or sneakers or whatever, I just buy the cheapest ones I can get. Like if it's under $50, then I'll buy them. Anything over 50, I'm not a sneaker guy or anything like that.
Yeah.
But like when it comes to like workout shoes, like whether it's getting lifts in or like running shoes, I'm like, I'm paying top dollar for that.
Yeah. See, I'm so weird with shoes. Like, I buy shoes I like and then I use them for everything. You know, people's sneakerheads, they like to keep their shoes all day. It's like that pair of shell toes I just showed you, the Star Wars ones.
Yeah.
You know, those are nice, kind of expensive shoes, but I wear them to the gym. I wear them everywhere.
It's funny. I have like clean trainers for about a week.
Yeah.
Like for a week, you're like, you do laces up and all that. And then after about a week, bollocks, you know.
Yeah. That's like So typically I wear Chuck Taylors, honestly, but now it drives me nuts to buy them, even though I love them, because they used to be $20 and now they're $40-$50 for they're cloth.
Yeah.
They're just like a piece of rag with a rubber bottom, and they're $40-$50 now. It's crazy to me, but I don't mind those for what I do at the gym, because I don't do CrossFit. I do kind of typical lifting type stuff.
Yeah.
So the flat is good, you know. But I went for a run. Like, I woke up at like 4:00 in the morning or something the other day, and my mind was like intense.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm going for a run, and it was like cold and rainy, and you know, my dumb ass with this cold stuff, I went no shirt.
Yeah.
And just took off running. Still, this was
showing
maybe
off the cannons.
Yeah. Still, this is maybe a week ago or so, and still my shins hurt because they're so flat. They're not running shoes.
It's the worst. Yeah.
Oh, my shin! Like I'm constantly trying to stretch out that muscle that's on the front of your shin.
I go to I know exactly for so I go to Drip Fit, like down by Franciscan.
Yeah. That's a CrossFit gym.
Well, yeah, it's so it used to be a CrossFit gym. It used to be CrossFit Effects, but when Dom took it over, he decided to not go with the CrossFit affiliation.
Yeah.
A lot of his workouts are like CrossFit based,
Right.
but his programming kind of like there's a lot of like CrossFit in there, but he also is really just focusing on like just putting in healthy workouts and all that sort of stuff. Working the whole body, but not just like out to kill you.
Yeah.
But also to actually like help you grow your endurance, your strength, and all that sort of stuff. He'll throw in a couple of like workouts every now and then, which just destroy you,
right?
Like physically and mentally, and you're like, oh man, what is going on? But then he'll like build you up the next day. He'll give you a workout, and you feel like you're on top of the world. So a lot of his workouts, especially in the summer, in the spring and summer when the weather gets nice, he like does a lot of like running, and like so he'll incorporate like some running bit in with a bit of like lifting and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And it's like I do a lot of like I've been doing like quite a bit of running last like year or two, just out up and down the street and all that sort of stuff. For that I use running shoes, and it's like really comfortable and all that sort of stuff. But when you're incorporating that with like a lift, it's kind of like that dilemma. It's like, do I wear the lifting shoes to get the lifting,
right?
Or do I wear the running shoes to get the running? Like when I wear the lifting shoes and I'm running, I feel like I've got like slabs of concrete on. Yeah, and it's the worst feeling ever. Like,
aren't those CrossFit shoes kind of made for that? Like the ones that they do for like CrossFit competition, aren't they made to be kind of both?
They are. Yeah, I mean, I'm not an expert on it, but like I feel like they're kind of like a hybrid in between like like your straight up like lifting shoes compared to like your running shoes. It's kind of like a good hybrid, but still it's not the same as like actual like running shoes.
I don't have my headset on, so I'm not sure, but I'm thinking maybe get the mic a little bit closer to you.
Oh, okay, yep.
Yeah, just a little bit. You don't have to sit up, just pull it back. There you go.
There we go. Yeah.
But the I don't know. I did CrossFit. I went once with my brother-in-law and my sister, Brad and Hannah Pico.
Yeah.
This was back in the CrossFit Effect days. This is when Frankie was still teaching.
Yeah. Oh man, they're both beasts.
Oh yeah, they're monsters. But my whole goal, because I wasn't even in like I had stopped going to the regular gym, so I really wasn't in very good shape. I mean, I was in better shape than maybe the average U.S. citizen, but I wasn't, which isn't tough.
I'm British citizen as well. I think we're like so America's like number one. Britain, I think, like in terms of like the fattest nation in the world.
Yeah.
I think Mexico's maybe number two, and then like I think like Britain's like third.
Really? Yeah, because we're an obese country without a doubt. They actually, my dad, rest in peace, he did a lot of business with China, and he had done a lot of business with this one factory for just years and years and years. And the guy that he dealt with that owned the factory, his American name was Joseph. So Joseph came to visit us here one time, and we took him into Robinson, and I think we went to Red Lobster or something. Yeah. Like, well, we really wined and dined him. But we're in the car, and we're getting ready to get out, and Joseph looks around, and he goes, "A lot of fat people in America."
That's awesome.
And I was like,
so awesome.
It's just everyday people. Like, what do you mean? And then I went to China.
Yeah.
And he was right.
Yeah.
Like, there's not very many chubby people in China, man.
That's so funny as well, because like their culture is they're very direct. Like they call it as they see it. So it's like if you're fat, they're like, oh yeah you're a bit fat, or it's like, oh yeah you're tall, oh you're a short ass, you know.
Oh, they loved me when I was over there. I was a chubby bald guy ready to drink. And man, when we went to China, my dad, he had been there so many times that he had his fun in China. Yeah. And, by the time we went, he was in his 60s. So, like, all the stories he used to tell me, I'm ready for those, He told me a story one time. He was at a bar in China, and there was a guy named King Lee. That's the American name he chose, was King. And solid choice. But so they were all drinking at this bar, and King Lee spoke English okay. The rest of the guys didn't speak English at all except for this game. Yeah. And it was a drinking game. And how it went was, in American, the first person would say, in English, not American. Come on, Dave, get it together. But in English, he said you would say, "Baby loves mommy," and then the next person would say, "Mommy loves daddy," and then the next person would say, "Daddy loves baby," and you would just keep going in a circle. So my dad's the only one that speaks fluent English. And he was hammered and getting his ass kicked at this game, he said. He's like, he's so drunk from having a drink playing this game, he's falling out of his chair. So I'm wanting these experiences, and I'm not getting them because he doesn't want to do that. He's like, I just want to go up to the hotel room and lay down. We're at this one restaurant. Joseph took us there. We went to see a couple factories. When we went to China, we were there for a couple of weeks, and we kept traveling all over China to visit these different factories. My dad was very particular about the factories he would use. He wanted to see them, make sure they were up to snuff and they didn't look like they were treating people poorly.
Yeah.
But so we're at this restaurant with Joseph, and I smoke cigarettes, obviously. So I was going outside to smoke a cigarette.
Yeah.
And this table full of Chinese guys that were drinking called me over. And they don't really speak English. Yeah. But through our broken conversation, however we were doing it, I found out the one guy was the owner of this place.
Yeah.
And so have you ever been to China?
I've never been, no.
So their beers in the bottles are regular size.
Yeah.
But you drink them out of glasses like this big. So you pour some to that glass and drink out of that glass. So they call me over, and now we're like joking and laughing the best we can. I don't even know what we're laughing at, really, because they're probably just laughing at me because I'm the drunk guy that doesn't speak the language that the rest of them speak. So they pour me the first beer into that glass, and we cheers, and I just take a sip, and they're like, no.
Yeah.
And they're like, we're chugging these. Okay. So we're just sitting there chugging them.
Yeah.
And we're nowhere near our hotel. And I end up out there the whole time. I don't even go back up and eat.
Yeah.
So Joseph and my dad come out, and our translator. My dad had an employee in China at the time.
Yeah.
Her name was what was her name? Started with an S. Her American name. Anyway, but we they come down. They're like, "All right, come on, we're getting out of here." I'm like, "Nope, I'm not going anywhere. These are my friends." And they're like. And my dad's like, "No, come on, we gotta fucking go. You're not even close to the hotel. How are you gonna get back?" I'm like, "I'll figure it out." He's like, "You're in China. You're not gonna figure it out."
Oh man, I remember me and my old rugby mates back home. We went on tour one year. We went to Lorette de Mar for a rugby tournament.
Okay.
And it was like, oh mate, it was.
Where's that at?
It's just outside of Barcelona. It's
okay.
It's
nice.
about an hour outside of Barcelona. It's right on the coast and all that sort of stuff. It's a nice little town, but it's it's kind of funny because went to Spain for a rugby tournament. Spain aren't really renowned as a big rugby nation.
Right.
But,
you would think soccer.
But we are, man. From the moment, we were actually drinking on the plane, so it was one of these no frills flights where you have to you buy your beers.
Yeah.
But what we were doing is because it was so slow coming down with the drinks trolley, and we were right, we're only probably going to get one one ordering. But we were we were playing like card games, like betting on like rounds of drinks.
Yeah.
So if you lose, then you have to buy a round, and then so we'd like stack it up. Like we had about like 4 or 5 rounds of drinks each. So when they came to us, like we were like, right, I'll have like 15 Budweisers. We'll have like 14 vodka, like double vodka and lemonades. And basically, what it meant, by the time they got our like drinks done, the plane was ready to land. No one behind us got any drinks.
That sounds like I know you were with English people, but it sounds like Australians to me.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've ever partied with Australians.
We're all cut from the same cloth. You know?
Yeah. Well, I was in the Air Force, and the only time I deployed, we're on the base, and like for Americans, you have a drink limit. You can have like 2 drinks a night, and you have these tickets.
Yeah.
So we're walking back from the drink tent back to our actual tents, and this van comes flying around, man, kicking up gravel. You can hear people screaming on the inside. They slam on the brakes right next to us. They're like, "Oi! You guys want to ride?" And I was like, and they have bottles of liquor. And I'm like, yeah. So we get in, they're like, you boys American. I'm like, yeah. And we're just chugging these drinks while we're in there. They're just feeding us all this liquor. And just they're having the time of their lives. Obviously, Australian guys.
Yeah.
And then they just stop where our tent is. They're like, all right, we'll see you later. And I get out of there, and I'm like, I'm fucking smashed. And the worst part was, it was my first night in this deployment area.
Yeah.
And I'm terrified of spiders.
Yeah.
Right? So the big fear over there for me is camel spiders. You ever seen what a camel spider looks like?
No, I haven't, but...
Have you ever seen the movie Aliens?
Yes.
So you know the face huggers?
Oh, man.
They look like those, and they're the same size.
That'd be scary. Yeah.
So that's my whole fear, is seeing one of these things. So I get into the tent now, and I get into the bed, and I'm like, all right, I'm not leaving this bed because I'm not trying to bump into a camel spider at the end of the night. And, you know, there's no bathrooms in the tent. You have to go to where the bathrooms are. And so I'm sitting in there, and I'm starting to feel like I have to piss. I'm like, I'm not getting out of this bed. So then I'm like, all right, I'm just going to watch a movie and fall asleep, and then I'll piss in the morning. So I put on one of the Lord of the Rings. I think it was the last one, and I'd never seen it before. Well, in this fucking movie, there's a giant goddamn spider. So now I'm like, great, I have to piss even more, and I just watched this movie with this giant spider. Not getting out of this bed. I laid there till I was in so much pain that I ended up trying to crawl basically to the bathroom area.
Oh, man, that's the worst. Oh.
Man, they have those giant like cylinders all over the place, concrete cylinders.
Yeah.
Eventually, I was like, I can't make it to the bathroom, so I ended up crawling into one of those and just unzipping my pants and pissing on my side. Because I'm that scared of a fucking camel spider.
Oh, man. But that's... it's funny because it's like, that's the thing with Australia. Like, it makes no sense, like, as a country, because, like, everything there is trying to kill you. It's like... there's a reason we sent our prisoners there.
Yeah. Yeah. But it's also crazy, too, because they don't have any, like, major predators. Like, there's not tigers... There's not mountain lions. There's no like, bears.
It'd be like little ants which are gonna like sting you, and like then you lose a leg or something
right.
like that, you know?
Right. But they do have giant spiders.
Yeah.
Like I've seen videos and stuff of them, and I'm like, why would you ever do that?
They do have like their predators are like, so they don't have predators on the land. They have all the insects and all that will like kill you instantly. Snakes. Yeah. They got like more like breeds of snakes than any other country.
And they're all super deadly.
So it's like, but no natural predators. So it's like, okay, so what I'll do is I'll go, get away from all the spiders and the snakes. I'll go into the ocean. Oh, what's in the ocean? Sharks.
All the sharks. Yeah. That's actually, you're right. That's where their predators are. They have deadly sharks all over.
I think that's why Australians are so chill, because it's like, because they grow up with knowing that, like in that little rock there is something that could like kill me instantly, or like give me like grievous pain for like months and months and months. And then like when they come away, they're just like so chill. They're like, oh yeah, mate, yeah, sweet as, oh yeah, you want a beer?
Yeah.
And then it's like, because they've been doing that like their entire life. They're like, nothing scares me, nothing.
And they've had to stay drunk to forget that there's things that'll kill them everywhere.
And they've also got like the hole in the ozone layers there as well. So if they go outside, like they instantly get like skin cancer and all that sort of stuff, you know.
Yeah, that is true though. I never thought about that. Like you see an Australian in America and they're not scared of a damn thing.
It's out in the middle of nowhere as well. It's like, man, like
it's weird. They have such a if I remember correctly, if I'm saying this right, they have such a big amount of space, but they have such a small populace, and they don't have like people think of these big cities in Australia, and they're not even really that big, if I remember correctly. I haven't been there. It's one of the places I didn't get to go when I was in the Air Force, and I was always really upset about it. And now looking back on it, with how terrified I am of like spiders and snakes, come on, let's be honest, snakes are of the devil. You shouldn't be able to move that fast with no legs. So now I look back on it, I'm like, it's probably a good thing I didn't go there. I probably just stayed in my hotel room the whole time.
It's the snake's fault that we came out of the Garden of Eden.
Right? Yeah, bastards. Yeah.
Oh man, it's funny. Like the Australians, like they're a good crack. They're a good laugh. Like we have like such a, because it's funny. Like we have such a healthy bitter rivalry in terms of with sports with Australia.
Yeah.
Because, like, we all play the same sports and our national teams are all at the same level. So it's always like, and it's like, yeah, you know how, like, in every sport, there's always that one team or that one country that you don't want to lose to.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
it's like, yeah, like, so if you're a Steelers fan, you know, you don't want to lose to, like, the Browns
Ravens
or the Ravens and all that sort of stuff. Well, one of our sporting rivalries is, like, Australia.
Yeah.
Because we don't want to lose to them.
Yeah.
Because every time we do, they are complete dicks to us.
Right.
And they don't want to lose to us.
Well, it's because you guys sent them there to die.
That's true. Yeah, but like,
I think they have more of a reason to be mad.
Yeah, but they're equally like the same way. One of the countries that they don't want to lose to is us, because when we win, when they lose to us, we are complete dicks to them. Like, and our sporting fans, like the British like sporting fans, we are some of the most like just annoying dicks like in the entire world. Like,
well, and I don't know how true it is. I guarantee that, because I do know that soccer hooligans are bad.
Oh, mate. So we'll get onto that, because that's a whole different like world. But like, so like for instance, like, so just to give you an example of how dicks we can be. Like, so one of the big rivalries is with like cricket. So England and Australia have this test series in cricket, which comes around every every 2 years. And we alternate like hosting. So yeah, like so England will host in like the British summer, and then the second so that 2 years time it'll be Australia that will host.
Okay.
And basically it's a tradition which has been going on. It's been going on for, I don't know, like 120, 130 years.
Well,
probably older. Like,
yeah, every 2 years for that long.
It's really cool. It's like, and like I'm so out of touch with, like, I can't remember like the whole background story. Like, basically, like the guy
Been in America too long.
Yeah, I know, that's it. Yeah. But like so the guy that started it, I could be wrong. So yeah, if I am, I apologize.
You're gonna do the best you can.
Yeah, I'm gonna do the best I can. Like, so the trophy is like is this urn, and in the urn is the ashes of the guy that started the whole. Like,
oh shit!
Yeah, it's really cool, and it's like a 5. Like, they have a 5-match series.
Okay.
The best of 5. Like takes hold of the urn.
Yeah.
Well, and like, so yeah, like, it's a big thing. And like, so the England like cricket fans, they're called the Barmy Army. And
Okay.
like, just like YouTube, like Barmy Army, like videos, you'll hear like the fan videos. Like, they have like chants and songs going and all that sort of stuff. And like, we're so annoying. Like, so like, there's this one, like, so when we go to Australia, so like one of Australia's like national songs is Waltzing Matilda.
Waltzing Matilda.
Yeah,
waltzing
Matilda, waltzing Matilda. Dude, I don't know the rest of the words.
Gotta be honest, for how hardcore Australians are, it seems like a really weak song.
so when we go there, like when the Barmy Army goes there, they even take like they have like the Barmy Army, like there's guys that like play. There's a band that goes, like a brass band.
Yeah,
that just travels with the team like all year round. All they do is like their job is basically to go in there and like play brass music and like get
just
like songs
piss
going.
Off Australians.
Yeah, but like so like the Barmy Army go in there and they sing that same song, but they change the words a little bit, and it's we all shagged Matilda, we all shagged Matilda, we all shagged Matilda, and so did my mates.
Yeah, you guys got a terrible rivalry. Poor Matilda, she was just waltzing, and now she's being gangbanged by the whole English team.
Yeah, we're a bunch of dicks.
Jesus. I did want to get into the soccer hooligans, though, because one of my... I don't know why, but I love this movie. I don't know if you've ever seen it. It's got Channing Tatum. It's called Green Street Hooligans.
Oh, yeah.
You ever seen it?
Yeah, Green Street Hooligans. That's where Frodo Baggins, joined...
Yeah, he became a soccer hooligan.
Yeah, became a West Ham fan.
Yeah, and essentially, like, in that movie, the soccer hooligans are basically just portrayed as gangs.
Is
that fairly accurate?
It's, like, fairly accurate, yeah. Like, there's a couple other, like, films as well that... They're a little bit more, I guess not organic, but like a little bit more like, unpolished.
Yeah.
There's one, I think it's called Football Factory.
Okay. It's not as cinematic. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, it was. But yeah, like that is that stuff goes on like every week. Like they have they call them firms.
Yeah.
So each club will have like a firm. So Man United will have a Man United firm, and Arsenal will have an Arsenal firm, and Chelsea will have a Chelsea firm. And basically, it's a bunch of like lager louts that get together on a Saturday. They have like shit boring jobs like throughout the week. They have nothing to live for. They probably they probably hate their wives, or they hate their their family. They're miserable and all that sort of stuff. So they just have this one thing that they want to do like on a week to week basis, and it's so like. So like basically what they do is like whichever so the Chelsea firm, whoever they're playing, so if they're playing West Ham, they will organise a meet up with the West Ham firm. They go into like a park somewhere
and they just fight.
Yeah, they just fight. Well, they get shit faced first.
Yeah,
they get shit faced.
That's a key.
Then they go and then they just have this massive fight. And it's like it's so dumb in like when you think about it, because it's like what's the point? It's like,
and those footballers don't care about you at all. They don't care that you're out there fighting.
Yeah, it's like, but you know what? It's like there's this whole thing of like this is just my opinion. I think just let them do it. Because one thing that's great is like they don't like fight strangers. They don't. Yeah, so they basically like if you're in the firm, you're like part of a group, part of a gang or whatever, and it's like you become a member of that, and then it's kind of like goes back to like the war day. Yeah, kind of like I don't know if it's got something to do with
It's almost like their own sport.
Yeah,
because they've all agreed that they're going to fight each other.
Yeah,
it's not like
let them do it.
It's not like they're fighting random strangers and stuff like that. But it's so crazy to think about.
Here's another like interesting thing about it as well. So like you've got all the different firms in England, like all the regional firms and all that. But then when the England national team, because it's not just in England, it's like football, like or soccer all around the world. Yeah, does the same thing. And then when we have like the international games, like. All of the local firms will get their best guys together, and they'll create like an England firm, and like whoever they're playing, like if they're playing
Spain
like Germany or Spain, they do the same thing.
Really?
Yeah, and the funny thing is like and like so in different countries, like so like the rest of you, so you know how over here like America kind of looks at like England and like the UK and all that as like they're very prim and proper,
right?
And,
they're real polished.
Yeah, that kind of like The Crown and what was it, Downton Abbey? They think of that.
Everybody's royalty.
Yeah, but like now compare like our like the way the Europeans see us. Yeah, they see us as a bunch of like just like
drunken,
just drunken idiots.
See, we feel like that's how the rest of the world sees us in America, which I think they probably do.
I think we look at America and we're like, we look with envy, like. We see it like we're always like we look at it in awe, like we hate to admit it because we're like very stubborn as Europeans, but we look at America and we're like, oh man, that looks awesome. I mean, if you go to you go to England and like Budweiser and like Coors Light are on tap like every
really?
like pretty much every pub or like bar that you're gonna go to, and it's not because it's a good beer. It's because we look at that and we're like, we see it in Hollywood and we're like, I want a piece of that action.
I want a piece of that action.
We see you've got guns, you've got muscle cars, you've got pickup trucks, you drink buds, you eat burgers, and it's like that's awesome. Who doesn't want a part of that, you know?
You scream, drink, and shoot things.
So then we just like we look at that and it's like, oh yeah, if I get a Budweiser, it may be a shit beer, but it's like, but if I'm drinking it, I'm based in California right now.
Right, I'm part of that.
Yeah,
monster trucks. Yeah. Oh god, I feel like we look like a carnival.
I love it. I wouldn't change America. Like I love just the craziness. It's it's awesome, you know.
Yeah, I'm very happy and proud to be an American. I'm not going to say that.
Proud to be an American. Well, at least I know I'm free. But anyway, So we were talking about the football hooligans, right?
Yeah.
And so you have like the England firm, then you have like every other country has their own firm, and like especially like the Eastern European like countries, a lot of their firms. Like, so our firms is more of like a casual kind of like lager lout kind of like, a bit of fun on a Saturday sort of thing.
Yeah.
Some of their like firms can be linked to like right wing like nationalist groups and actual like
say Ireland, they might have links to like the IRA.
Although Ireland, like they're more the same, like just casual lager louts.
Okay.
But like when England played Russia in the I think it was like the 2016 World Cup. Like this, it was funny. So all of the our lager lout like England fans who are over there like, yeah, we're gonna like start a fire, we're gonna like beat up the Europeans, fuck the French, blah blah blah, and all that sort of stuff. And it's like then we play Russia, and like basically Russia, like they sent like basically like all
like
of their
military.
It was like trained fighters. Like they just wiped the floor with our guys.
Just fucking people up.
It's fucking great. And like if you Google it, like you'll see all these like interviews like afterwards, and it's like all these like basically like fat middle-aged like lager louts like going, oh, they were so mean to us, oh, they was terrible. It was like, come on man, you signed up for that.
You signed up for that. You went there to fight. They just happen to be really good at fighting.
They actually know how to fight.
Right, you guys are just drunk throwing punches.
Throwing windmills, and he just like
slip it in.
Yeah,
it's
it's awesome.
I would actually love to see that. It's almost like seeing the obviously it's your countryman, but it's almost like seeing the loudmouth at the bar getting his ass beat.
Oh yeah. That is exactly it. Yeah, it's like it's kind of like if you put like a fighter, like a UFC fighter or a boxer, up against someone who's not a fighter.
Right.
Like it's like,
but it's talking all the shit.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Singing, we all fucked Mary Lou. What was her name?
Matilda. Matilda. Only when we play the Australians. I know they've probably got some good stuff against us as well. Like we have a good crack with the old Aussies. Yeah. They're a good bunch. Good laugh.
I've never had anything but fun in England and dealing with Australians. I've never been to Australia, but I was at a hotel in England one time with the Air Force, and it was kind of it was a smaller hotel, but like a really old building, and but a cool place. It had like a piano room. The bar was pretty nice. I'll tell you what is weird about England is there's not like a lot of bars and stuff that stay open real late.
No. Well, that's changed a little bit more recently. Like, because they brought. It always used to be like closing time was, I don't know, like. For the pubs, it used to be around like 11, 12 o'clock.
Yeah.
And then you'd have like a couple of nightclubs which would stay open until like 3.
Yeah.
They introduced like the 24-hour like license, or they passed a bill where you'd be where establishments would be able to apply for a 24-hour like liquor license.
Oh shit!
It was all like because of licensing. So it was you weren't allowed to sell after a certain time.
Because fucking Spain, man, they don't close their places
they don't
down
start
until 5
until
or 6.
Oh man, same with like the whole of Europe.
Yeah.
I was in where was it? Cyprus. This was with a few of my mates like back home. This was like our first like lads first holiday away from the family, and it's like you go to a nice sunny like Mediterranean island. And basically you sleep during the day and then you party at night. You know, there was this one place so health and safety is like really big in like the UK. Like buildings, establishments, you have to get so many permits and all that sort of stuff to make sure it's safe, and which is good, you know. You don't want to build into like full
collapse when you got a bunch of drunk people in it.
In Europe, it's a little bit more like relaxed. So we were in this place in Cyprus, and like there was this like it was like an after party bar, so it's like you've been drinking all day, you go to the nightclub.
Nightclub closes down.
The nightclub closes down. This is like the after party. So this is like 5, 6 o'clock in the morning. You go in there. It's a bar and a giant swimming pool. And like on the
Safe.
safe. Oh, it gets better. It gets better. So like in the swimming pool, there's a giant log. Going across the middle of it, and basically all you do is you queue up, and then two people go from one side to the other, and basically you're trying to knock the other guy off.
After you've been drinking all day and all
All
night.
day, yeah. Yeah.
That would be highly illegal.
Yeah. Yeah, nuts.
But so when I was saying my one trip to England, I feel like this is why Americans get the name they get sometimes, because so the town we were in, there wasn't a bar open past 10.
Yeah.
This nice little hotel on this there's like a canal that's on the one side, and so we're at the hotel bar and we're drinking. I think they called them snake bites, but snake bites.
Yeah, snake bite black.
Snake.
Yeah.
So it's a mix of Guinness and Strongbow cider, right?
Just lager, cider, and then the snake bite black is you have a little bit of Ribena or like blackcurrant juice.
Okay.
And it's like, that's the perfect student drink. That's our student drink. That's our that would be our version of like Milwaukee's best sort of thing. It's cheap and strong.
For us, they were giving us Strongbow cider and Guinness.
Oh, nice, yeah.
And if you didn't drink it quick enough, it'll curdle.
Yeah.
So we're drinking those this whole time, and the guy that's working the front desk is now in there with us as well, and the bars are all closed, like I said, and now this bar is closing down. But the guy that's working the front desk, the guy that's going to be working overnight, is like, "Go ahead, bartender, you get out of here. We're going to keep having our fun." So it's me. I'm not going to say his actual name, but my tech sergeant. We're still in training, actually. This guy's our trainer.
Yeah.
So our tech sergeant and then another airman. I'll say her name. Her name was Brianne Lynch, and so we're just in there drinking, having a good time. Then we say we're hungry. This dude lets us go into the kitchen at the hotel and cook our own food.
Awesome, yeah.
And then we're in the piano room, this nice-ass piano room, and me and Sergeant Prosser, I said his name, me and the tech sergeant were wrestling and just like tearing this place up. Yeah. And then now tech sergeant is now playing the piano, which in my drunken mind I was like, man, he's really good at the piano.
Yeah, man.
I'm like, hey, where'd you learn? Yeah, I was like, hey, where'd you learn how to play the piano? It was like, first time I've ever done it.
and he's a comedian as well.
And he's got this big ass dip in, huge. And every once in a while he just stops playing the piano, reaches up and grabs this beautiful vase full of flowers and pushes it back. And so now I didn't realize it, but the sun had come up, and now all of a sudden the owner of the hotel is in this room screaming at us. And the guy that was working the front desk didn't make any of his wake-up calls. So I'm like, I'm sitting there and I'm hammered. I'm looking around. I'm like, this is why people look at Americans the way they do.
Actually, to be fair, that was probably just a normal Saturday night. It's either Americans or it's going to be the blokes down the road, like causing havoc.
Soccer hooligans.
Yeah, we used to have because we have so when the bars like close early, like they always used to have you always have like lock-ins.
Okay, yeah.
So there was this like back home. Me and my mates, we used to go to this one place, Bar Chameleon or like Bar C. It was like one kind of like a club bar. It got like a late night liquor license, but it closed at like about 5. And basically what they would do is at 5 a.m. They would do like a quote unquote like lock in. Basically what it was like anybody that was so shit-faced where they were barely standing up, they kick them out. It's like, yeah, you're going home. Yeah. Everybody else who's still kind of like coherent, just having a good time and all that, they'll like, they'll lock the doors, and then you can stay for another couple hours, like just carry on drinking. Yeah. And this was also so like, yeah, if you qualified for the lock-in, there's many times where I didn't qualify. I was one of the ones that got kicked out.
I would say I feel like all bars should do that. Yeah. Like 10 or 11 o'clock, be like, okay, you're too drunk.
Yeah, you're out. You're out of it.
You get out of here. We're gonna lock the doors. You guys can stay and drink.
But the great thing about this place was like, so what they used to do was like, so they do the lock in. You carry on drinking for another couple hours, and then they open the doors at like 7. But like one of the guys, one of the bar staff would, as you leave, they open up the kitchen. You cook your bacon sandwich.
Really?
So yeah, they'd open up the door, send you out, bacon sandwich. It's broad daylight. There's people going to work, and it's like, yeah, oh, that's fucking great.
That's fantastic. That's such hospitality.
Yeah, it's awesome.
You can tell that's a country that's been experienced in drinking
Yeah.
for a long time.
Man. But like, you know, oh man, yeah, we were talking about like in Spain, like, so me and my mates went to Ibiza one year, which Ibiza's just nuts. And I just remember like we're walking, we've been like partying all night. And then we go back, we're walking back to the hotel. I don't know, it's like 9-10 o'clock in the morning. There's families walking down to the beach. And they got their buckets and spades and all that. And the kids are like, yeah, we're going to go and see. And there's this arch. We must look like the Walking Dead. Like, oh, we're all like pale and pasty faced because we don't sit in the sun because we're in bed. And it's just in our nightclub like clothes, which are all like drenched in sweat and
right, alcohol seeping out of your pores.
Oh yeah, and this was back in the days where you could still smoke in establishments. So it's like we just smell of like an ashtray. Man, we were
like, kids, stay away from the Walking Dead.
You can see the parents are like, they're like slowly like veering away, like
they're herding their kids to a different direction. I have to piss real quick, but I got a decent Spain story as well. I'll be right back.
All right, sweet.
All right, get back into it. It's actually funny we're telling all these drinking stories because I'm actually, as people might be able to tell, I'm drinking Coke Zero and water because I'm doing sober for 75 fucking days.
I'm not.
Well, listen, it's not my favorite thing right now.
That's right.
I would like nothing more to be drinking a beer with you.
Like how long does it last? Like
75 days.
On day 76, we got that nice little bottle of
that's right.
English whiskey. We'll crack that open.
Yeah, and you brought this beautiful bottle of English whiskey that we can't even get here, right?
No, yeah. Basically, you have to, so when I did the tour, me and my dad did the tour, and they, walked us through the whole like distilling process and all that. It's a really cool story about like where they got started. So the guy that started it, he was they're like a third or fourth generation like grain farmer.
Yeah.
They're based in Norfolk. It's called St. George's Distillery.
Okay.
And so the guy was like third or fourth generation grain farmer. And he grew a lot of like the grain for so it'd be like a lot of like barley, wheat, rye, all that sort of stuff. Well, a lot of his like customer base was Scotch and Irish distilleries.
Okay.
So they they would buy his grain, and it was like he was a bit of a whiskey connoisseur himself. Yeah, like he was like thinking, and like particular like Scotch and Irish distilleries are where they get their ingredients from, their water, the grain, and all that.
Even the barrels,
like where it has to come from the right place. So he's like, hey, if my stuff's good enough for these guys, I like a drop of whiskey myself. It's like, hey, maybe I could like give this a go. Yeah. So about like 20 years ago, he's like, he also got a spring on his land as well, and he was like, oh yeah, I'll give it a go. So
let's do this.
Yeah, so he started like learning the whole distilling process, and he decided to like start distilling whiskey. So is it
the same distillery that made the one we had last week or a couple weeks ago?
Yeah, exactly the same one. Yeah,
that stuff was good.
Yeah, that was chapter 13. That one's aged in. It's a small batch. And it was aged in sherry barrels.
Okay, yeah.
And so this is their like one of their first batches, that they launched with, and this one's aged in bourbon barrels.
Nice. Yeah.
So it's like
definitely gonna look forward to that.
But
damn it.
Yeah. But you're saying you can't get it here. Like so. Well, it may have changed like now, I don't know, but like I remember when we did the tour, this was probably about 15 years ago when me and my dad discovered it. Did the tour. They're like, yeah, you know, like we, you can order online. Yeah, we ship internationally. And I was like, do you ship to America? And they were like, interesting enough, we can ship anywhere in the world except for America. Like something to do with like the FDA or something like that. You need like a certain thing. I don't know, but
yeah,
like,
we like to be a pain in the ass. We probably weren't getting enough tax money on it.
So basically, what I do whenever I go home and like visit home, I basically like take 2 suitcases. Because I get like like international travel, you get like you can check
take
in
so much.
So
Yeah.
basically, it's 1 suitcase of clothes. On the way there, it's empty, and then when I'm there, I like stock up on like my English whiskey, a bunch of other stuff, and then I basically one suitcase of clothes, one suitcase of alcohol. Basically, yeah, it's awesome.
Great.
Do you ever get that thing? Because like, so you know how we do that thing like where we're like buying stuff like through like duty free,
Yeah.
or like you buy like maybe like too many cigars or something like that. And there's always that bit where you're walking through like customs,
The customs,
and
yeah.
you like. I hope they don't pull me over.
Yeah,
It's
please
like,
don't go in my suitcase.
You feel like they're watching you, and they're going to arrest you and all that sort of stuff.
Right.
And it's like
for whiskey.
yeah, and it's like they don't care about like about like stuff. Oh yeah. So they don't care about that.
No, yeah, they hardly ever care. Even when I was in the Air Force, they'd like bust your balls for a minute if you brought back too much, and then they're like, just don't do it again.
Actually, interesting thing. We were talking about Australia.
Yeah.
So like, they're like border patrol or like border controls. Like, it's like they have like some of like the strictest
regulations
and stuff like that. Like getting in, like they're kind of like renowned for it because they're trying to protect the country, and New Zealand's the same way as well.
Yeah.
But like the Australian like border control, like they're very strict. Like if you're they even had like a TV show on it, Australian Border Patrol, whatever it was.
Yeah.
And you basically a bunch of like people like going through, and they'd get like denied like access because of like they're trying to bring in like it's like zero tolerance on. It's mainly like on like food and like stuff like that. So if you've like
they're always really weird with like fruit.
Yeah, food, fruit, stuff like that.
Yeah.
They're like really, really strict on it. My mum, but this is my mum. When my mum and dad went to Australia like a few years ago, they like she was like really like nervous about it. Like because she's watched it and they're like, oh,
she watched the TV show.
Yeah,
so
she
she's
watched the
freaking
TV
out.
show. So she when she was getting there, they're like, oh, have you got anything to declare? And she's like yes, I've brought some biscuits. The agent just looked at him and was like, oh, you're good, man.
Why is your mom traveling with biscuits?
And that's a British thing. Like we do, we just travel with biscuits, you know. Or like so they're hobnobs. Like so when we say biscuit, like it's a cookie.
Like yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Like, go with your tea. You know?
It's just so funny though. Like you can't get cookies wherever you're going.
Yeah. But it's like, I know what it was. So my brother was working in New Zealand. And so my mum and dad they did a bit of a holiday in Australia, and then they were going over to visit Rob. I think it was it might have been for Christmas or whatever. But like basically what my mum was doing, she was bringing a care package.
Yeah.
Like so my mum's awesome. Like so she'll do the same for me. Is like every like couple of months she'll send me like a little care package of all the like British things which I like,
right?
Like miss and like and all that sort of stuff. So she was doing the same thing. So my brother loves, he used to love like hobnobs, which are like a type of cookie.
So tell me because hobnob, it doesn't like if I went to the grocery store and I was like, what kind of cookie should I get?
Hobnobs.
And one was called hobnob. I'd probably be like,
yeah, hobnobs are amazing. Like so, yeah, hobnob is basically like a chocolate chip cookie, which has been like it's basically like the Navy SEAL of chocolate chip cookies. That's what it is. It's
the badass.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
chip cookies.
it's like there was a comedian that did a great bit about Lee Evans. It was a like British comedian. Like he did a great bit about like so we have this tradition of like you take your tea and then you dip your biscuit in the tea. And then and then we have like the digestive like biscuits, which like the bit was it was like some biscuits are great for dipping the tea. Others are like terrible. So like the digestive you'd dip into the tea, but it was like basically like cardboard. Like it would soak up all the tea, and like by the time you pull it out, it's already like disintegrated.
Right.
And it's like you've got like one dip, and you've got like and you've got to eat it. The hobnob is like you can like it's a bit it's like you can dip it 10 times. It's like give me more, give me more. But yeah,
I'd never known about people dipping cookies into tea until Amanda was here one time, and she I don't remember what we were doing, but she had some cookies and had tea, and all of a sudden I look over and she's got the cookie in the tea. I know dipping cookies in milk. So I saw her doing that. I was like, did you just dip that cookie in that tea? She's like, yeah. I'm like, I don't know if that's okay.
Maybe she's part English. I don't know.
Yeah, well,
that's
of course she had to look it up. She was like, yeah, so it says here cookies are commonly dipped in tea and coffee. I was like, okay. I had no idea. But apparently that is a big thing in England. Maybe she is part British. Who knows? It threw me off. I was like, there's milk downstairs.
It's like one thing I haven't got I haven't got used to, and I don't think I'll ever get used to, is so I like my tea hot. Over here, you guys like your tea cold. I don't get it. Cold with lemon. Like, what's up with that?
Yeah. I never really thought about that. Yeah, and sweet tea, like the just whole, sugar water.
Just like cold, like iced tea. I can't. It's not for me. Iced tea is not for me.
It's not really for me either. I pretty much drink water and Coke Zero and whiskey.
That's not bad. It's not a bad gig, you know.
Just not right now. I'm so upset about this. I should just go ahead and say what I'm doing.
Day 76.
Yeah, I'm doing this 75 days hard with my friend Drazen, who he'll be on the podcast in the future. But 75 days hard, so I'm doing 2 45-minute workouts a day. One of them has to be outside, which great time to do that because it's fucking winter. Yeah. But the cold doesn't actually really bother me much anymore with the cold showers and everything. Then I have to drink a gallon of water a day. I have to read 10 pages of nonfiction, which also really isn't that big of a deal. And then no alcohol for 75 days and no... so you have to pick a diet. They let you pick your diet, which I think they let you pick it because depending on what you want to do. You want to gain muscle mass, you want to shred, so... they let you pick your diet, and you have to stick to it with 0 cheat days for 75 days.
You're a better man than me.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah,
and if you mess up any one of those things, you start over from day one.
Oh man, that's brutal. Yeah,
I feel like if that happens, I'm just not going to do it. 75 more days? Nope.
Hopefully, your listeners are going to like. They're going to write and they're going to be like, if you quit, you've got to get to day 75. You got to hold yourself accountable.
Right.
You know?
Oh, God.
Do it for your listeners. You know?
Yeah. Well, I'm just going to try to just do it one time all the way through.
That's it. Get it done.
Right. I don't want to have to keep repeating this process. But yeah, honestly, the hardest thing so far, like, when I'm sitting here with you, I want a beer, but it's not crazy.
Yeah.
But drinking a gallon of water, it's a lot of fucking water, man. Yeah, it's a lot of water.
Yeah,
it's and I have to piss all the time. But I forget where I was going with that. But the cool thing is before I decided to do this, I ordered some new clubs from Onnit.
Yeah.
So Onnit Gym and Labs or all that, they have these steel clubs, and I was using 10-pound ones, and they became too light. So I got these 15-pound ones. So my outside, they came in today, so my outside workout today consisted of using these outside in the winter with no shirt on.
Yeah.
And I'm sure my neighbors look at me like I'm fucking insane.
Yeah. Yeah, you were showing me those earlier, and it's like the workouts like those, and like with it like being like just such a unique like weight
the weight distribution
just
is,
it just like works like different parts of the body, like,
because you think like if you picked up a 10 or 15 pound dumbbell, you're like, okay, this is nothing.
Yeah, but
with those things it feels like that. I mean, that does not feel like it's only 15 pounds.
How did you like find out about them, or how did you like get involved in that? Like,
so On It is actually owned by two people. One of them is Aubrey Marcus, and the other one is Joe Rogan. So through the Joe Rogan podcast, I found out about On It, and then I think he did a podcast with Aubrey Marcus, and they were talking about the steel maces and clubs, and I was just intrigued by what they were saying about it. So I started doing research on it, and I was like, fuck. Seems like a completely unique way to do a workout. Yeah. And what I really like about them is no matter what workout you're doing, it almost engages like your entire being. Yeah. Like no matter what work I'm doing, my core gets engaged. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's a great total body workout no matter what you're doing. And I haven't even touched into it. I'll see videos on Instagram and stuff of people just doing these they call them steel mace flows, and you watch them and it almost looks like poetry in motion, and plus they look like weapons, which appeals to me. I feel like a fucking Viking out in my front yard with no shirt on, snowing on me.
That's it, like growing out the beard. It's like,
and I have the Viking chain on.
Oh yeah, man. It's like like testosterone is just like pumping through the body.
I'm out there growling.
Neighbors love you.
Yeah. They're like, well, at least he's our psychopath.
Yeah.
But I do. I love it. And I've been loving going out there and getting the weird looks. I was actually doing a steel mace workout a couple of weeks ago out in the front yard. It was the first time I did one outside. And I'd woke up in the morning. I was all fired up for whatever reason. I was feeling good. And I looked outside. And I was like, it's snowing. I should do a workout out there with no shirt on with the steel mace. So I did. I went out there and I'm doing it. And then in between, I'm like putting my hands down and looking down and just kind of like meditating while the snow's hitting me. And I just happened to look over, and my neighbor was out there cleaning out his car, except for now he's like frozen with his hand on the car, just staring at me, like not moving. And I'm just like, oh, yeah. Hey, neighbor that I've never met. Good to see ya.
That's awesome. I do the same thing, like because there's something about like when you're out in like the elements that kind of like taps into like the, I don't know, like that primeval part of the brain. Like so you remember was it like before Christmas where we had that first like snow blizzard of like this winter?
Yeah.
Like and like the snow came down in the evening. And we probably had, I don't know, like we had like 3 to 4 inches of snow on the ground or whatever. So like it all came down in like a couple hours.
Yeah, it came down quick.
It was in the evening. I got home and so I do a bit of running and all that sort of stuff. So I usually get my run. If I don't get a run in the morning, then I have to get a run in the evening. Like that's kind of like my thing. Is like I get up at 5. Like every morning, like kind of like have a bit of me time, drink some coffee, read a book or whatever, and like, and usually I'll get either get running, go swimming, or get something like that before I get my day started.
Yeah.
If I don't, for whatever reason, then I have to get my running. And I was like, I got home and I didn't get my running that morning, so I was like, and I saw it snowing, and I was like, I've got to go and do it. Yeah. So I went. So I like put my waterproofs on and all that. Yeah, put a few layers on. But I hadn't shaved my beard for a while, so it's like a little bit like scraggly and all that. Yeah. So I go out there and it's like, the salt trucks are out, people are like spinning out, like the snow's coming down heavy, and I'm like running up and down. This is like up and down like Main Street, like
on Sunset.
Yeah, on like Sunset, and I'm like running through there, and there's like snow and icicles in my beard. I'm like, this is fucking awesome.
I don't know what it is, but I do. I love it, man.
Yeah.
The only difference between me and you is, like you said, you put on a few layers.
Yeah, nah, it's not that.
I'm just the idiot that goes out there with no shirt on.
Yeah.
That even like that run. I was really cold after I did that run the one day. It was wet though. The one thing I wanted to touch before we wrap this up though is, are you a big movie fan?
I love films.
Yeah. So a lot of times what I do, and usually I start with it, but we didn't have to. I like to talk to people about what their, say, top 5 movies are. If you think you can handle 5, if not, we'll do 3.
Yeah.
But
yeah, man. That's so. Oh man, yeah. So top 5 or top 3. I would just like mention like favorite films at the moment that I can remember.
Yeah.
And so one of my more recent films, which is awesome. Have you seen the film Tenant? Tenant.
I have seen it, and I can't understand it.
It took me like 3 times to to fully to get through the whole thing.
Yeah.
But on that third time, I was like, okay, right, I get it, and this film is just awesome. Like,
I'll have to try to watch it again. I bought it. I was super excited for it, and I got so confused. And then I was talking to somebody about it, and they're like, "Yeah, I should watch that again." And I was like, "I don't know if I can watch it again." Like, I was so confused. My dad. So it's made by the same guy that did Inception.
Yeah.
And I loved Inception.
Yeah.
And my dad likes really complex movies like that. He did. And so I was like, "Dad, we got to watch this movie, Inception. You're gonna love it." And we start watching it, and he eventually looked at me, and he wasn't a big cusser or anything like that, but he just looked at me. He goes, "I don't understand what the fuck is going on here."
It's like, well, the thing is, like, because it's like Inception, like on steroids.
Yeah.
Like that, and it's very like if you look at like the premise of the film, it should actually be like, it shouldn't be a good film, because it's about like time travel and
but time travel is only possible if you're rewind.
Yeah, it makes no sense. You're like, yeah, this sounds terrible, but it's like when you get into it, you're like, wow, this is awesome. Like, yeah. And the lead, I can't remember. I don't know what
it's Denzel Washington's son. I can't remember his name, but his son.
He does a phenomenal job. Like,
I love that guy.
Like the way they shot the film,
yeah.
Like the action, it like keeps you engaged like throughout the whole way, but you're also kind of like super like
confused.
You don't know what's it's not until the end where you start to like see everything fall into place. Written, like well shot.
Shot is what I was gonna say. Yeah. Like, without a doubt, like the cinematography, that aspect is like priceless. Like, it's crazy to watch. You're watching like, wow, these people are really just doing this shit in rewind, and it looks fucking crazy.
Yeah.
So it's beautiful on the cinematography aspect, but I was just so fucking confused. But anyway, what's your next one?
So another good film which I love is Rush. You seen that?
Yeah, that's the one with the guy who plays Thor, Chris Hemsworth.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, so it's about about the Formula 1 World Championship. It's based on the story of like the rivalry between Niki Lauda and James Hunt.
Yeah.
And it focuses on their rivalry in the 1976 like World Championship. So basically, like Formula 1 racing. Are you much of like a racing fan? Or?
I'm not, but I did enjoy that movie a lot.
Yeah, so like the whole thing of there was like, it was such like, you've got like, both of the racing drivers, like, because this is back in the day where like race cars and like the safety and standards was like basically non-existent. Mm-hmm. Like, like kind of like the same way like that NASCAR or IndyCar would have been over here. Like back then, it was like the cars were just basically giant death traps.
Right.
And it's like, it's like you got these crazy guys that jump in the car and like try to race them as fast as they can.
Yeah,
there's no safety standards and all that.
Yeah, like
even like back then, like it was like. It was a 20%. It was like 20% chance that you go like the racing driver when he steps in the car is gonna die.
Yeah, that's like crazy.
So you got like it's all about like the rivalry between the two of them, and you've got like the two top drivers. And they come from like different backgrounds, but their journeys are completely different, and they're completely different. Like their character, their personalities are completely different. So James Hunt, he's he was English. And he was the English playboy. He was the Jack the Lad. Yeah, he was out partying. It was like
different beautiful woman.
He was the ladies' man.
Yeah.
And then you've got like Niki Lauda, who was
he was like a gentleman, right?
He's Austrian. He was like the businessman,
right?
Sort of
refined.
Thing. Yeah. So he came from a family of they're like family business and all that sort of stuff, and he kind of defected away from the family business and wanted to wanted to pursue this goal and this dream. But like, whereas like, basically James Hunt got to the top with a sledgehammer. Just coming in, he was just a naturally gifted, aggressive driver that just knew how to like handle a car. Niki Lauda, he was more of like, he was clinical. He was like, he was proficient. So he was
methodical. He had he learned the techniques.
Yeah, he like not only as a driver, but he would actually like be working with the engineers and the technicians to set up the car,
right?
And like rebuild the car to to make it like a better driver. So it's all about that kind of like that chalk versus cheese kind of like the yin versus the yang. Sort of like that's probably a terrible analogy.
No, but like, I get it.
But like, and it's their whole rivalry, and like how so like Niki Lauda came so he came up through the ranks. Like they took like a massive like personal risk. Like like Niki Lauda, for instance, he took out a personal loan on like basically on the back of his name and like credit, basically
right.
Put it all on his credit, and then bought his way into like a mediocre team, and to like basically
find it.
Like to prove himself, he helped them like set up the car, like to where they were able to make the car faster, and kind of brought his way in. Like he became like he was like reigning world champion. So it goes back to it was like 1976. He was world champion. James Hunt like got his way into McLaren. There's the two of them. And it's like it's so fascinating because it's like James Hunt ends up winning. Spoiler alert.
Yeah, it's all right.
But
it's
like,
movie.
So he ends up.
History.
You can look up on like Wikipedia. But like, so he ends up winning the world championship, defeating the reigning world champion, which was Niki Lauda, who was racing for Ferrari.
Yeah.
And it's the whole thing of like, so that was all that. Yeah, that was James Hunt's like goal. That was his like, his
life mission.
Yeah, he'd reached the peak of Everest. And it's kind of like tragic because like he was like that. That was everything. Energetic. Yeah, he's this energetic. Like he's just like one of those people that would light up a room. He'd walk in, he'd light up a room. He's everyone's best mate. He's the guy you want to like hang out with. Like he just had that energy, that aura about him. Yeah, that's why everyone loved him so much. And then he always as Niki Lauda quoted, like he lived every day as it was his last. And there's something about like having that like having a little bit of that in your own like I don't know life mission or message sort of thing. Right. Whereas like Nick one of the things that Niki Lauda he lost the world championship. He then he went back and he improved himself. Like physically, mentally, went back to the drawing board, kept on training, kept on getting better, kept on learning, and eventually came back and won 2 more world championships throughout his career. Right. James Hunt, that was it. He was done. He
never did anything again.
He raced for another couple years, but he'd lost that drive. Within him. So it was like. Yeah, so
it was like he had accomplished his goal and he had no other goal after that. Yeah. It's like he didn't know what to do with himself.
And also like the other great thing as well is like in the film is like because during that season, Niki Lauda had a horrific accident on the I think it was a German Grand Prix on the Nürburgring, like where he almost lost his life. He was like on his deathbed.
Weren't they telling him like he wasn't gonna drive again and
it was the severity of his injuries was he was like he had like 3rd-degree burns all over his body, especially like on his face. He had to have like skin grafts. He also like had like a damage to his lungs, and that was like the thing that they were like worried about the most. But he was. And it's amazing like the strength of like character of him. Like so he was on his deathbed. They were able to do like emergency surgery, save the lungs, which saved his life, do the skin grafts and all that. And like 40 days later he comes back and races in the Italian Grand Prix.
That's so fucking crazy.
And it's like, not only does he like race in the Italian Grand Prix, but he also like placed like fourth in there as well, which is like just nuts. And it was
strength
like,
of character is the best way to put that.
And it was like, that was the tense rivalry that they had between them. And it was like, and like, because Niki Lauda talks about it like in the end, like in the end credits, and so they have. I can't remember the actor's name that plays Niki Lauda in the film.
I can't think of who it is either.
But like right at the end, like they actually have Niki Lauda himself, who's like who like is voicing and kind of like talking, like kind of reminiscing about it. And he was like, James Hunt brought the best of me and the worst of me. It was like, and he was trying to like to get James to keep fighting because he needed that. For
him to keep getting better, he needed James Hunt.
Yeah, it's like you need you need your nemesis sort of thing. So he wanted him back in the car, but he knew deep down that he was like, that was it. He proved himself, and it was like, and like Niki Lauda is like, because he's well respected amongst like the whole of like Formula One.
Yeah,
and like he said, he was like one of the few people I liked. He was one of the very few I respected, and he was the only guy I envied.
Yeah, that's really.
And it's like,
cool.
For someone like that, that's like, someone like that. They'd be like,
he was like he was like his nemesis, but he loved him.
It'd be like Muhammad Ali coming out and saying, I envied like this person, like the platform that like that,
like
that
Joe Frazier, George Foreman, like I said, like it's his nemesis, but he also loved him. Envied him. That's crazy to think about.
Another cool film which I love, which is another like it's a kind of a car film. Have you seen Mad Max Fury Road?
Oh yeah,
love that film.
Yeah, after I watched that one, I went back and watched the old ones with Mel Gibson.
Yeah, I did the same thing. Yeah, it was awesome. Yeah,
actually, I like Fury Road a lot. They were supposed to do another one. I don't know if that's still in the works or not, but I pretty much love anything Tom Hardy does.
Oh yeah, he's a dude, man. The cool thing about about Mad Max Fury Road, which I think this is what I like about the film, is so all of the cars and the hot rods that they had in that, they were all they actually made those.
Oh no shit.
Yeah, so there was like the thing. I can't remember who actually directed it. So what he wanted to do was use as little CGI as possible.
Yeah.
And with that was like, so when they're doing like the chasing, because it's just there's so much going on.
Again, the cinematography fucking incredible.
Oh yeah. But like every single vehicle in that, like they basically commissioned like hot rod shops all around the world to just build like the most audacious, crazy hot rods that you could. And they'd use it for the film. So all of those vehicles, they were real.
That's really
and that
cool.
Was all like that was all live shot. And it's just like some of the close-ups of like, if you can't tell, I'm a bit of a gearhead, a bit of a petrol head. But like, there's like some of the close-ups. Like, there's a bit where they have like, you're on the air intake, and they've got like, when he puts his foot down, you see the butterfly valve open up, and the turbos spool up, and then it like you hear it like suck the air, and it's like, and it's like, it's just awesome.
See, for me, what I like about that is actually that movie is Tom Hardy's character, because it's like the reluctant hero. Like he doesn't want to be a hero, but he has this moral compass that he has to be. I love stuff like that. I do. I like that movie a lot. I might have to watch that again here soon.
Oh, mate, I've watched it like 100 times.
Yeah.
Like, do you ever get those like those nights where you just like you have like a nice dinner, few drinks, and just like you and you're like I want just a really good like feel good like man film.
Yeah,
that is perfect for it. It's like
a Chris Hemsworth movie that I like for that is actually it's on Netflix, and it's a Netflix original. I think it's called Excursion.
Oh, I haven't seen that yet. No.
It's a Netflix movie, and basically he's like a mercenary, and he's supposed to go get this target, and it's a kid. And then he ends up feeling like he has to protect the kid, so he won't turn the kid in. Now he's trying to get the kid to safety, and he's just fucking killing everybody. But yeah, it's got that kind of Taken feel where one guy's against everybody, and he's just doing his best. Liam Neeson. How did Liam Neeson go from what he used to be to the Taken guy?
Have you seen the what is it? I think it's called The Grey.
Yeah,
that's awesome. Like where it basically like ends up with him like punching a wolf like, with a fist of glass. Right. I'm like, that's awesome. Like,
well, and I talk about ultimate survival because man, you think like you would sit there and you think like, well, a wolf is a dog. Like I feel like I could take just about any dog, but then you actually like see like a full like go wolf.
Yeah,
they're big fucking.
Not only that, but they're smart. Like so smart.
And there's never one.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They like they're smart and same with like coyotes as well.
Yeah.
Same thing. Like they're like those pack animals. They are the intelligence that they have to be able to like their hunting campaigns are just unreal.
Yeah.
My old neighbor out in Hopedale, he used to have a Christmas tree farm. Linsky's Christmas tree farm.
Okay.
And he put up like this like giant fence around to like protect his like Christmas trees. Try to keep the deer out because
just fucking maul them.
Yeah, they come in like on rutting season and they'll like sharpen their like
antlers.
Their antlers because they're like trying to. They're trying to get laid, you know.
Yeah.
So they need to fight
the other bucks,
deer, so they can find a nice lady deer and take her out for dinner. You know?
Yeah.
But like there was when it was still like work in progress, there was obviously a giant hole. He had a massive problem with because we obviously have coyotes in this area.
Yeah.
They had worked out like they would filter the deer into his Christmas tree farm. And they would like basically corral the deer into this one corner, and like every I don't know like maybe like it was almost like once every 2 weeks or so, he would like my neighbor would be doing the rounds, and he would find like a dead deer carcass, which is like half eaten in this one corner every time.
No shit.
And that's where he worked out what the coyotes had worked out how to.
Corral them to this one space and trap them.
That's it, yeah. And it's like, how scary is that?
Yeah.
Animals have been able to figure that stuff out, you know?
Well, and the crazy thing with coyotes, too, because they've tried to, like, mass extinct coyotes, like, multiple times.
Yeah.
And it's, like, impossible to do because those howls they do, it's like a roll call.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, if a coyote doesn't answer and they figure out, like, okay, well, Bob's dead, the pack spreads out.
Yeah.
And runs in different directions.
Yeah. And
then reproduce like twice as fast.
Yeah.
So like every time you try to like kill a bunch of coyotes, there end up being more.
It's an interesting random fact. So coyotes, going back to wolves. Wolves are actually native English to England.
Oh yeah.
We used to have wolves. Yeah, in Britain.
And now you don't. Well. Do you guys not have wolves?
No, no. We So they were native to the area, but like one of our like former kings, basically had them all killed.
He's like, fuck these things.
Yeah, and it's like, it's such a shame because it's like I don't know, like having like natural born like predators out there. Like I think it's great that they're. Like having them out in the wilderness, and it's like it'd be kind of cool to have them back in England,
right? Well, and those predators like that are important. Like people don't understand how important those predators are because it lets other animal populations get out of control.
Yeah, it's part of the ecosystem,
right?
It's like that's how you you can if you get rid of one animal, then just the population of like another animal gets out of control. Then you got to figure out how to do that. There's like
it's like in Australia they have their biggest land animal is like buffalo or bison, but they have no predators, so they have to have these big hunts on these things. You can like kill as many of them as you want because there's nothing to kill them besides humans. Because they have no predators. Like they had the Tasmanian devil. Go ahead and put that thing up against a fucking or that Tasmanian shark or whatever, or not shark, tiger, Tasmanian tiger, but it's like a baby thing. Same thing with pigs, because in the United States, like wild pigs are a massive problem. Because there's not enough predators. And pigs reproduce so fast that now they cause like $5 billion worth of damage a year in the United States, and it keeps becoming more and more, like, because they keep spreading. Eventually, they're going to be throughout the whole U.S. And they reproduce so fast. What's crazy about wild pigs, though, is they're just pigs that got off the farm. They have, like, the fastest evolution of any animal. So they'll be like a regular, like, farm pig.
Yeah.
And then just a couple weeks into being into the wild, their snouts get longer, they grow tusk, and they get hair in a couple of weeks. And they never would have got those things if they hadn't have gotten into the wild. Mm-hmm. That's like an insanely fast evolutionary process.
Yeah, that's crazy. And it's the whole debate of the whole hunting thing and all that sort of stuff. And it's like, I mean, I don't know how do you feel about like hunting and like.
I think it's necessary, and I also think a lot of people don't understand that most hunters, like the big hunters, like the ones that people know about, they're actually like the biggest animal conservationists too. Well, like most of those proceeds that they get from deer tags and tags for whatever species they're killing, that's what pays for animal conservation.
Well, that's one of the I totally agree. Like I'm not a big fan of like big game hunting,
right?
Lions, tigers, that sort of stuff. Like that's. Well, most time trophy hunting,
right? Because most of the time those aren't even actual hunts. They got they roll out like a drugged up lion. They're like, all right, shoot it. Like, come on, man.
I know. Where's the fun in that? You know. Whereas there is a place for hunting because it's population control. Like so in the UK we have. There's hunt bans. So we like fox hunting used to be like a big thing.
Yeah.
And there was a whole like a big ordeal about it's cruel against the animals, blah blah blah, and all that sort of stuff. And it's like so it ended up being banned. But the problem is that we have now like the farmers, like chicken farmers and all that sort of stuff. Like they have like the increase of issues with foxes,
right now there's
livestock and all that.
Now there's too many foxes. They're losing chickens, eggs, everything.
And here's the crazy thing as well is so now what they do is to have a population control. The government has to basically fund a national cull of the foxes every few years.
Yeah,
and it's or
you could just have these fox hunts.
And here's the crazy thing as well is so who pays for these culls? British taxpayer.
Yeah.
It's whereas before we were getting free culls all the time. Hunters would actually pay for the privilege of doing this, and they were doing the job for us for free.
Yeah.
Whereas now we have to pay out of our bottom line. You know?
Yeah. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Actually, again with that pig issue, that one's gotten so bad. Like in Texas.
Yeah.
In Texas, you can literally get in a helicopter.
I've heard that.
With machine guns and just mow them down because they don't know what else to do.
Yeah.
And that way does sound terrible.
Yeah.
But they literally don't know what else to do because they're just destroying crops and property, and they've actually killed people in Texas.
Yeah.
Pigs.
I know. That's crazy.
So wild. Well, brother, I think we've got a nice podcast on our hands, and
man.
I actually have some stuff I got to do. So I think we'll wrap it up. But I really, really appreciate you coming on.
I appreciate you inviting me on. This was fun. Next
time we do it, I'll be drinking.
Yeah, man, I'll look forward to it. Yeah, we'll have a good time.
You know what? You'll be the first podcast I do when I can start drinking again, and we'll tap into that English whiskey.
Sounds like a deal. That's awesome.
All right, brother. I appreciate you, Chris.
Cheers, man.